channel, Many Worlds, where I share my travels with you. If this is your first time here, hope you like this adventure and come back to watch more. Well, welcome back to the Ladakh series. We spent nearly a month in Ladakh, hired a car and traveled to many beautiful remote places. In this episode, I take you through the second part of Sham Valley. In part 1 of the Sham Valley episode, I shared with you the 7 stops that we made. This part 2 of Sham Valley, covers the last 2 stops we made, Likir and Saspol meditation caves. Soon after Basco, there is a series of twists and turns in the mountain. It's a beautiful stretch of road. As we climb from 3,300 meters to nearly 3,650 meters. The stark landscape made me reflect on the Buddhist concept of shunyata, emptiness. Like now, felt empty, but it was not nothingness. It had green pastures, tall trees, tarmac, beautifully built road, tall mountains. There was signage, traffic on the road, and none of this can exist on its own. So although it has form is empty if not all connected. The vast, stark, open landscape did something to my brain. Had to get out, get a photo, smell the air. By the way, it's very thin air. We were climbing. These roads are a biker's delight. About 51 km west of Leh, there's a turn-off to get to Likir, which is about another 6 kilometers to get there. Likir is a very, very old monastery. Dates back to the 11th century. And the name Likir means the serpent or naga encircled. And I believe it represents the bodies of serpent spirits. The monastery is draped over a hillside which is split by a gorge carved out by the tributary of Indus River. And I wondered if the labyrinth of water channels that lays Likir is what started off mythological story of serpent spirits. Likir Monastery, just like Phang Monastery and Basco Monastery, belong to the Yellow Hat or the Gelugpa sect of Buddhism. The Red Hat was the original, and then the Yellow Hat Buddhists broke away from the Red Hat because they believed in a slightly different version. So the Dalai Lama is the major spiritual leader of the Yellow Hat sect. Likir village is only small, and the main crops here are barley, wheat, peas, and they grow their own vegetables being so remote. There it was, in the far distance. I could just see it. It seems so secluded and peaceful. A very serene kind of place. Didn't encounter any traffic on this stretch of the road, which is off the highway. But mind you, this road used to be the main road that connected Likir to other places. Likir is famous for its giant golden Buddha, and I could just see it in the distance. Strategically positioned high atop a hill, surrounded by a gorge, it was a well-fortified, well-planned monastery. Quite a big place, and there are, I believe, 120 monks who live there now, and there are also some students, about 30 of them, who study there.
Likir Monastery. Wow, that's one big massive Buddha.
The highlight of Likir Monastery is this gigantic, towering 75-foot, 23-meter tall golden Buddha statue, sparkling in the sunshine. This is the Maitreya or future Buddha. The monastery was striking, and you see the whitewashed walls and wood pane windows, which is so typical of Ladakhi monasteries. It's a unique architecture combining traditional Tibetan design with influences from the Indian subcontinent. Braced myself to climb all the stairs again, and just at the end of the first flight is this huge big red prayer wheel, quite spectacular one. I was told that spinning the wheel once was equivalent to reciting all the contained scriptures, so I didn't miss out on spinning wheels. And I was getting closer and closer to the top. And there I was in the open courtyard of Likir Monastery, perched at around 3,650 meters, in awe of this whole structure, the views it provided, and just kind of took my time to have a look at the two buildings on either side of me. They were the assembly halls. Likir actually has two assembly halls, the old Dukang and the new Dukang. The new one was built after a fire destroyed the earlier one. It is still 200 years old. The walled courtyard had some beautiful, colorful paintings, and a monk came out to collect my entrance fee, and then I proceeded to enter firstly the old Dukang. I was struck by the beautifully colored paintings just outside of the entrance. These were the guardian kings of the four directions, of the four winds. There was also a Wheel of Life painted at the end of one of the walls. The Wheel of Life guarded by Yama. Entry was through a bright red door with a multicolor doorknob hanging, which had the 5 colors in Tibetan Buddhism. Inside this old assembly hall, the Dukang, a splash of color just exploded. There were so many objects, artifacts, scriptures, statues, drums, umbrellas hanging from the roof. It just blew me away. The hall had a seating arrangement, and it appeared like as if the monks were sitting there, but it was just their robes. Also had a throne for the head Lama of Likir. At the back of this were big statues of the future, present, and past Buddhas. It also had the statue of the founder of the yellow sect, Gelugpa, called Tsongkhapa. Over the centuries, Likir Monastery has served as a center for Buddhist learning, meditation, spiritual practice, has attracted many scholars, practitioners and seekers. The Gelug tradition, as I understand it, stresses more on the intensive study of the sutras.
Indian Panditas, ancient scriptures. I wonder how it is all catalogued.
I was really impressed by the volume of scriptures held here. The monastery is adorned with intricately carved wooden pillars and colorful murals all along the wall, depicting scenes from Buddhist mythology. Then I strolled across to the new assembly hall, New Dukang. The entranceway was colorful. It had the same pattern of the 4 protectors. The highlight of this assembly hall was the statue of Avalokiteshvara, who has 11 heads and 1,000 arms. And the walls besides the statue were full of tankas, paintings. It had the 35 Buddhas and Sakyamuni there too. Learned that the 35 Buddhas have special powers to purify any negativities, downfalls, and if you recite their names with faith, you can get over all the bad things you've done. So it's like a purification practice to recite their names. Next, I visited the Gonkang. This is the room dedicated to the protector deities in Buddhism. Fierce tankas of Mahakala and Yamantaka adorned the walls. These scary, wrathful forms are like a contradiction to the peaceful religion of Buddhism. These images, they like symbolize the violence that is a reality in the cosmos and in the human mind. There were numerous red pillars and colorful tankas all around. I had heard there was a very old museum here, but the doors were closed and also there was no one to ask, so I missed out on that. The top floor led out into a terrace and the views were just breathtaking. Surrounded by towering peaks, we are standing now at 3,650 meters and beautiful green valleys below. Likir Monastery offers stunning views of the Himalayan landscape of the cold desert. Imagine this all covered in snow in winter. This is also where the gigantic Golden Buddha statue is located. The colors was just so beautiful up close. The reds and the turquoises, the blues, the oranges. I gazed in wonder at what extent people go to create these beautiful monasteries way up in the mountains. I just loved every minute I spent at Likir. It was time to move on to my next destination, final destination of the Saspol Caves of Meditation. There was so much to discover and explore in the paintings, ancient paintings of Saspol Caves, that I had to create a whole new episode for it. So join me in my next episode where I take you through my next destination. Until then, take care, be safe, and see you next time.